suck a Death Star through a garden hose. What's up? It's Chris Wilde of Breaking the Fourth Wall. Welcome you back in the normal ways we record things. Unfortunately, we can't do a live show every week. Well, we could, but that costs a lot of money. With me, as always, this week is Christina Warburton.
How y'all doing?
Eric Batista Sr.
How y'all doing?
Ryan Miller of
line.
Star Wars Canon Library.
Hey guys, how's it going?
And the broken one, Matt Cruz.
Oh, thanks a lot. What's up, people?
All right, guys. We've got a lot to cover this week, so we're going to go ahead and jump right on into it. First and foremost, the most important thing we could talk about right now, one of the most important things we could talk about right now, Manchester, England last night. At an Ariana Grande concert, we had an unfortunate reported terrorist attack of two suicide bombers setting off bombs at the concert, which cost the death of 22 people and 59 injured. Christina, I'll start with you. Go ahead and give a little bit more of the report and your feelings on the unfortunate tragedy that happened.
Oh, gee, just start with me. All right. I mean, I'm actually from England, not from Manchester necessarily. I'm from Liverpool, which is not that far away from Manchester. In fact, when I was a kid, my dad used to work in Manchester, so it just gives you an idea how actually close to home this whole tragedy truly hits me. But a little bit more of the story is, from what I've been gathering from the news reports I've been reading about it, is that it was a suicide bomber. And it was two detonations that went off, which killed at the end of Ariana Grande concert, which cost the lives of 22 people, including 2 children, as well as injuring 59 other people. I mean, I'm at a loss for words on this one, to be honest. Like I said, this hit really close to home for me, being that I am from that country to begin with. It's also, I mean, this is a children's concert any way you look at it, and so for someone to do that, I can't even put it into words right now, like how disgusting and just how upsetting this is. And my heart really goes out to those people and those families and those victims of that just heinous act. And that's pretty much all I can say about it right now.
All right. Well, pass it along. Keep the ball rolling. Who?
Brian.
The biggest thing that I mean, it's an atrocity any way you look at it. It really is. And just the biggest thing that I'm having trouble with trying to process is the children. I mean, that these innocent kids went and were probably planning on this concert for weeks and weeks, excited, getting ready to go, and then that's the way it ends. You know what I mean? Like, and it just, I don't have kids of my own, not that I know of, but I don't have kids of my own, and I can't even imagine the heartbreak, of having to face something like that, and it's just, I'm completely. If anybody follows me on Facebook, I already put my rant on there. But I mean, other than that, I'm speechless. I'm completely dumbfounded.
All right.
Really, that's all I got. I know, Matt, you've got kids. I mean, how would you handle something like that?
Well, right now, it's I can say that if I lost my kids, it would destroy me. It really would. I mean, I got. Not to get too personal, but I got 2 other kids that I don't even get a chance to see much now, and it's a long, twisted, messed up story, and I'm not going to get into that right now. And not being able to see those 2, so being a loss of a child, I mean, I could only imagine. And like you said, no matter how you look at it, it's a loss of life. This is not, they weren't doing anything. They were just kids being kids. And going to a concert, not all, probably, and if they were young kids, this probably was like their first concert.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
sorry.
Yeah. So, go, Eric. What are your thoughts, man?
I really took it hard because of the fact that when I found out, like, reading about it a little bit more this morning, just the lack of security at the venue, it just really turned my stomach. I mean, this is the reason why you have security for concerts, is to protect them people that are going to see a show. I mean, they said nobody was there to check pocketbooks, bags, anything. No one had wands. They were so unmanned to doing this security. You know, to allow these two people to get that far into the venue. As what I got told was that it actually happened just outside where Ariana Grande was performing. It's a section. It's another building that's connected so close. It's basically a part where people leave and to go, I guess, leave the building to go to their cars, whatever. That's where the first one detonated, and then the second one detonated a short time after that. Update I got is that they caught a second suspect. So they do have a second suspect in custody as we talk now.
Well, that's definitely news. I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah,
Well,
I
yes,
haven't heard that yet either.
They did get the second suspect. Only one, the first suicide bomber, he actually took his life in the process. So they did get the second one. But in fact is that I had two boys, 116 and 19. It really hurt because that makes me feel if they ever want to go to their first concert, that's going to be on the back of my mind. The security of where my kids are at.
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, just segmenting on that real quick, Eric. I mean, the thing is, too, I mean, this is something people are going to be afraid to take their kids places. I mean, this is going to be one of the repercussions of this. I mean, parents are going to think twice before they're going to take their kids anywhere to enjoy anything because now there's a fear factor involved. I mean, like, seriously, like, this just happened. This was a children's concert, pretty much, from what at least there was a lot of children there. And now it's going to be, so now it's going to be along the line of, well, is there going to be, what's going to happen? If I take my kid to this concert, is something going to happen? And now it's, it really, it affects everyone on a global status, not just the people in Manchester, just people on a global status, because not everyone's going to be thinking about, like, well, if I take my kid here, so I'm not going to take my child here now because it's too risky.
Well, I want to weigh in on this as well. As a father of three, one going to be 21 next month, and then the other two are 8 and 7. That is in the back of your mind. It's like the people that are responsible for this, want to wage a war, but they're not targeting military. They're not targeting government installations. They're targeting children, and they're targeting like places that should be safe for the general populace. And that's the lowest form of disgusting. I don't care if you're an Ariana Grande fan, a Wiggles fan, a Metallica fan. If you're going to see a movie, or like Fast and the Furious, which is a bomb in its own right, you don't need a bomb to go off with it. It's very simple. It's like this is just out of control. As a parent, you do worry. I mean, we live in a world where we have to take off our belt and our shoes to go on an airplane. We live in a world where we have to go through metal detectors in schools. Like, what is happening to this world? Yeah. I did want to remark on Ariana Grande, though, herself. Obviously, she was okay from the attack. She did tweet out that she is broken from the bottom of her heart. She is so sorry. I don't have words. And reportedly, at least from what I heard this morning, she had indefinitely canceled the rest of her world tour because of this incident.
Whoa.
So she's pretty badly shaken up from that ordeal. Like,
honestly, I don't blame her.
On her watch.
I don't blame her either. Let her take some time.
Seriously, how old is she? I know she's still like a teenager. I think she's still a teenager.
She's in her early 20s, I believe.
But still, she's still young, and she's probably never experienced or ever thought she would have to experience anything like this. So it's probably taken her really. It's probably hit her really hard because
nobody would.
I mean, in all honesty, I know if it was myself in that situation, I'd be blaming myself as well because it was my concert. They were there to see me.
Mhm.
So in some ways, she's probably harboring a lot of the blame on herself, and which is not a good thing.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely think this is the way I think she should handle it. Like, I understand where she's coming from. She's got to be shaken up. It would screw with my head, something fierce in that situation. But I think she needs to take some time, get herself collected, her thoughts collected, and then not only put the world tour back on, but go back to Manchester and let that be big middle finger to everybody. You're not going to stop us.
Yeah, I'd agree with that completely, actually. I would love to see that happen. Personally, I'm not an Ariana Grande fan, but I would love to see that happen. I really would. I think that's the best way to handle that.
I think that would be
too.
excellent. I think that'd be absolutely an excellent idea because...
Or even do a benefit concert for their families that lost their loved ones.
Even more so, but do it at Manchester.
Yeah.
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 Again, standing up to the bully, because that's what they are. Let's call them what they are. They're bullies.
And on top of that, doing that, and also make it pay-per-view so everyone in the world can watch in solidarity. I mean, even honestly, I'm not an Ariana Grande fan either, but at the same time, I would pay the money to watch the pay-per-view just to help support those families.
Yep, same
Right,
here.
the portion of proceedings were good to the families. Yeah, I agree.
Exactly.
Well, definitely, I could definitely say from on behalf of not only Breaking the Fourth Wall, but Realm of the Mist, and I could probably say this for Radiocast FM, our thoughts and prayers go out to the families out in Manchester, England. Guys, get back on your feet soon. Moving on. Let's see here. There's so many things we could talk about.
Yeah.
Let's go hit some of the easier things to deal with. They have reported that on Netflix they are going to be releasing a 10-part series of the prequel to Jim Henson's classic, The Dark Crystal.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, this should be interesting.
Well, since you can't wait, what are your thoughts on it? Do you like the fact that it's a prequel? Do you think there's even a need to revisit that movie?
Honestly, before they announced a prequel, I thought it was fine the way it is, but now my interest is piqued. I'm not going to lie. My interest is completely piqued, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing this seeing this series, and that shows how things in the Dark Crystal are the way they are, why they are the way they are, because I do believe that's what they're going to explore, how the crystal actually shattering and things of that nature. So I'm very much looking forward to it, and I have my Netflix account, of course, and I'm just waiting for it to release, and I will watch it.
All right, Brian, how do you feel about a prequel for the world's saddest puppet?
Yes, I cannot wait. I'm like losing my mind. When does this come out? I need to start the countdown now. Man, like the oh my god, I grew up with the Dark Crystal, and just that was like all the girls had Wizard of Oz and crap. I had the Dark Crystal, like, and that was and then to find out that some of the same puppeteers worked on, like, because I'm a big Star Wars fan, obviously, and worked on like Return of the Jedi and the puppeteering, and I'm friends with Mike Quinn. I'm losing my mind over this. Like, I cannot wait to see how everything got put into play. Like Christina said, with the crystal shattering, like, I'm losing my freaking mind. I'm going to binge watch it in a day. I will take vacation at work. I don't care. I will take vacation. I don't care. That's it.
Coming up on Breaking the Fourth Wall. The review of Netflix's new series of the Dark Crystal prequels.
Brian, now I see why you went ballistic for that book I have.
Oh, yeah.
But if I may comment,
go ahead.
Actually, I'm looking forward to it myself because, like Christina, was kind of skeptical. But I actually saw on Face Off when they had an actual Skeksis competition. So I saw they actually did different Skeksis from different types of environment. Like they had a jungle Skeksi, they had a desert Skeksi, they had a actual like countryside or a mountain Skeksi, and they made all different types.
Just for some people that may not understand, explain what a Skeksis is.
All right, Skeksis are the second half of the darker half of the entities that were split in two. This is what the prequel actually should hopefully be dealing with, because we've all right. I'll paint the picture. We've all obviously seen the Dark Crystal, but in the Dark Crystal there's a small scene where the crystal is actually cracked, and it shows a Skeksis, which is the second half of what we also know as a mystic. Now the crystal once formed these beings. They never revealed what they were called in the movie. They never did. Trust me, I listened to every bit of soundtrack just to try and figure this out. They never say what they are, but like they're these ancient beings from another realm or from outer space, because you see them like ascend to the heavens once they rejoin once again. Because when the crystal was cracked, it split them all into two different beings. The mystics being kind, gentle, wisdom, and knowledge, and all the great things and wonderful in life. And you had the cruel, evil, twisted Skeksis that decayed with time and space, and they could only be one ruler at a time, and it was usually the oldest, nastiest of all the Skeksis. Sorry, did I do too much of a narrative on that one?
That was summed up in a very, very nice nutshell there, Matt. Thank you.
We were all sitting a moment in awe.
Was that good? I mean,
yes, that was good, Matt. I liked it.
Eric, do you feel this is the right move? Do you think maybe they should have visited like another one of Jim Henson's properties instead of the Dark Crystal? Maybe something that was a little more popular, like Labyrinth.
You know, I'll be honest with you, the pen will probably kill me. I never really got into Labyrinth, but I did and own the Dark Crystal. I mean, like I said, I want to check it out. You know, I really like the Dark Crystal. I think that's one of my, sci-fi favorites in there, amongst others. I really want to check it out. It's been a long time, when the Dark Crystal came out. So we're looking, what was that, 85? 86, I think
it was 84.
Was it 84? Okay.
84, because I saw it as a special screening because I actually won a school contest for that movie. I got to see the very first airing.
He colored it inside the lines.
No, actually, I had to submit a paper.
Oh, okay.
And I was only in first grade, so
they were like, coloring books are on paper.
Very funny.
You in first grade?
Very funny.
I drew a turtle.
He didn't even use a real piece of paper. He used the back of like one of those placemats that you get at Denny's.
And he colored it with his poop.
You guys are vicious, you know that?
Wow, he even took this picture and textured it. No, that's a peanut.
Oh, you almost got me on that one. You guys are messed up.
That's the Dark Crystal.
Is that corn? No, not the band.
Look at how 3D that moon is. Oh, it's a urinal cake.
Oh, there it was. Oh, really? They're messed up.
All right, now I have to tell that story. Second half.
Yeah, now you can tell that story.
Second half, I will tell this story about the urinal cake. Believe me, it's worth it.
All right, we'll wait for the second half. All right. Moving on here, we got. Let's see here. I'm gonna save that one for when we go into that segment. Let's do it. We're sitting here with everybody, almost everybody anyway, as far as War of the Stars and Canon Library and everything else. Vanity Fair is setting to release a 4-cover issue for Star Wars: The Last Jedi, consisting of many of the cast members. One of the things that was brought up was one of the covers harboring Kylo Ren, Phasma, and General Hux.
Yeah.
The thing that people are noticing most about that is both Phasma and Hux are not wearing their helmets. Well, I'll start with our resident Star Wars expert, Brian. Do you think this means anything? Are you picking up your copies? And do you hope there's a nice Do you hope there's a nice nude spread of Rey holding up a sign right by her private saying "I'm a Skywalker"?
Absolutely. I'm picking these up as soon as I find them. I'm hoping to God, like what Christina said before we started recording, about how we're hoping to God the covers aren't regional. Hopefully they all come out, in the same areas. We can get all 4 of them. a couple of things that stood out to me on it. Okay, like whenever Star Wars fans, and I can say this because I'm one of the biggest Star Wars fans, and you guys can relate to this as well. Whenever we get our first glimpse at one of the new movies, we pick the crap out of it, and we analyze every little itty-bitty detail that we can get out of it and come up with these wild speculations about what the whole movie's going to be about based on a scar, and when you see these covers, the ones that stood out the most to me, like you said, was the one with Phasma, Hux, and Kylo.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Phasma doesn't have her helmet on. And this is probably me speculating, but why would they put that up if she's not going to lose that helmet at some point in the movie? Some people are like, well, it's just a promo photo. It's not actual. Okay, well, if it's a promo photo, you don't have to Photoshop Kylo's lightsaber blade into the freaking picture. They are in character in that picture. So and if you look, they put a scar on her lip that she doesn't actually have, that Gwendolyn Christie doesn't actually have. So she's got a scar on her lip. So obviously that's makeup. She's not going to have the helmet on at some point. The other thing is she doesn't have a rifle anymore from The Force Awakens. She's got this like spear force pike thing that looks freaking awesome. What else was there? Then there was one of Finn, Poe, Rose, and BB-8, right? That was one of them?
Yeah, I think so.
The fact that Rose is on the cover of one of them shows she's going to be a main character in The Last Jedi. One of the main characters. I'm still rooting for this whole Finn, Rose, love romance thing going. And then the other, like the one that's obviously heartbreaking, is just Leia by herself. She looks absolutely gorgeous on that cover. She looks like she should be leading a resistance, And then obviously the other one is Rey and Luke, and it's just seeing Rey. Just oh my God, I love her.
All right, I pulled up the Vanity Fair covers on my phone, and it looks like it's going to be. Wait a minute. The Empire reboots. No, I'm sorry. That one belongs to a different one. Yeah, one of the Vanity Fairs is Luke and Rey together. The other one is Gwendolyn Christie, Kylo Ren, and Hux. And the other one is BB-8, Poe, Finn, and Rose.
And then one with Leia.
It's a Leia one.
Oh. Yeah, the Leia one, I think. I mean, out of all of them, obviously for obvious reasons, the Leia one is my favorite. But I can't wait to get my hands on these things. They are absolutely awesome.
Oh wait, I just found the Leia one. Oh yeah, she does look phenomenal in that picture.
It's an amazing cover, and I think it's doing this movie justice. Disney always does an amazing job marketing this stuff, and so far I think they've been on point with it.
Well, it's not just Disney. Lucasfilm is before owned by Disney. Lucasfilm has always been a master of marketing their own product.
Right.
So. Christina, do you think that the reason that Gwendolyn Christie is not appearing in her helmet is because of the fact that she used the helmet to stop the trash compactor, which is what actually saved her life?
That I'm not sure on, but I know there's definitely is a reason behind the fact she is not wearing her helmet, because if you think back to any other covers like that, if they were going to wear a helmet the entire series, like the entire movie, she would be wearing that helmet right then and there, because it would be a lot easier for her to have that helmet on than to have the scar on her face, like Brian already said. I mean, that's makeup right there. That takes time. That takes energy, as opposed to putting a helmet on her head and be like, oh, done. So I'm sure we're going to find out in the next movie why this picture exists, and I'm very much looking forward to it. And just like Brian, I will be planning on purchasing all 4 copies when it comes out, and if they are regional, Brian and I are going to work together to try to get ourselves all 4 copies.
Well, right on. Matt, Kylo Ren without a mask is not too much of a surprise thanks to the teaser trailer to The Last Jedi, but I just had a speculation of my own. Do you think the reason for the mask being destroyed in the teaser trailer and Kylo being shown maskless is because he's breaking out of the shadow of Darth Vader into his own menace?
I think so, because he's kind of got that revealing, secured stance. He doesn't really seem to be. He seems to be very focusing on point. He looks very serious. I mean, even though you rarely saw him without the mask, but he always had that intense look in his eye. He doesn't seem to have that fear anymore. He looks almost fear. He looks like he only speaks in absolutes. And I gotta just give this one. He's got that flowy lock thing going on. I swear, he looks like he's about to strut a runway. I'm sorry. I'm looking at this, and I'm like, I'm like, dude, that's the only thing that kind of like, I'm like, I just gotta comment on that. But all the others, I mean, with Poe, Finn, and Rose, they have that. It almost looks like a vintage photo from the like a 1940s pilots. If you look at them. I mean, taking a good look at it, it gives me a vintage photo look. And Leia, I'm like almost I'm just gonna like, I'm moving on. I can't look at the picture just like that. I can't. But with Luke,
I would like to point out real quick though. I'm sitting here looking at the one with Phasma, and if you look in the reflection of her armor, you can actually see the tarps up on the frame for the flash, for the photography in the background. Yeah. You can see it dead on, yeah. Yeah,
because it's so reflective.
Well, it's chrome armor, so yeah.
I just thought that was funny.
Okay, and Ray and Luke, it almost looks like he's almost like he doesn't have his arm. It almost looks like he's covering an injury or something.
You never know.
Yeah.
Won't know until December.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It looks like he's nursing an injury.
December can't get here quick enough.
Eric,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And we know majority of the Star Wars fans are going to pick up all 4 covers if they can get their hands on it. But in your estimation,
we'll get our hands on it.
Out of your estimation, which of the 4 covers do you think will sell the most?
I'm going to say that Princess Leia one's going to sell the most.
Yeah.
That's the one I probably will want to grab because it's going to be, collectible and, even just talking about it, just, it's kind of a shame, because, she's gone, but she's going to move on, she's overlooking it, so.
She's sitting. I still agree with Mark Hamill with his Star Wars Celebration synopsis of Princess Leia, or not Princess Leia, of Carrie Fisher in general, where he said he imagines that she's up in the celestial heavens, looking down, smiling, and as I look up, I see her just flip me the bird.
Yep.
So Leia,
princess
Leia's
right
proud
there,
of
everybody.
what she did.
Mm-hmm. That's my princess too.
Carrie is very proud of what she did and what she brought forth, not only for women and not only for film, but just for the culture in general.
Yeah, she should be.
She even now she's still sorely missed. Moving from one franchise in space to another, we can't do a show without controversy. Star Trek Discovery not only released its first trailer. Trailer has received a lot of backlash. In this day and age, it almost seems like a reverse backlash because the controversy going on now is that there are too many minorities and not enough Caucasians in the show. Guys, is this just straight BS and people are paying too much attention, throwing too much politics into it, or do we have to have some sort of better balance to keep everybody happy?
No, you shouldn't have to sit there and work on this perfect balance just to keep everybody happy. No matter what you're going to do, you're not going to make everybody happy. I mean, my money says the same people that are saying this are the same people that say are saying there's too many white people in Star Trek to begin with, and now they're going this route and like, oh no, that's too many. You can't find this perfect balance. It doesn't matter at all. Like we were talking before the show, why not make the main characters aliens? And just completely null and void the whole argument.
All right, Matt. I'll ask you because I know your wife's a big Star Trek fan. For a franchise that was heavily founded on the fact of, in the 1960s of the original series, having an Asian navigator and a Russian weapons master and a black woman communications officer, not just a crewman, but an officer. Bridge crew officer breaking boundaries left and right.
She was communications officer.
Right. Is this basically the dumbest argument on the planet that a show that brought diversity to TV is not showing enough diversity?
I think that they're just bashing the bash nowadays. They don't really have, like you said, there's never going to be a perfect balance. There's always going to be too white, too black, too this, too that, too many aliens, too many non-aliens, too much of this. This isn't canon. We got it, okay? There's always going to be complainers. People, how about just getting to the story? Let's see what happens. If the story's written well, it doesn't matter. I care about characters, not what color their skin is, not what color, if they have a prosthesis and need something funky to look different. No, I want to know what they are. I want to know if I can connect with these characters. If I can't connect with them, I'm not going to watch the show. Who cares about white, black? Get over it already. Jesus Christ. Let's just watch a good show.
Christina, do you think people are just missing the point of Star Trek, which is humanity overcoming its petty differences to go out and explore the world, or not the world, the galaxy, the universe?
Obviously, they're missing the whole point of it if they want to do nothing but whine about like stupid petty things like that. And really, color doesn't matter. Here's the whole thing: a lot of people need to get over. When it comes to shows, when it comes to that, all that should matter and all that does matter is the skill of the actor playing the role. That's all that matters in the end, because guess what? You can have a show full of Caucasian actors. If they all suck, then the show's going to suck. So it really, it's such a stupid argument. Really. The most important thing is the skill of the actor. That's it. That's the only thing. We've all seen the show where the actors completely destroy the show because they're that bad. We've all seen shows like that. We've all seen movies like that. And we've all seen movies that have absolutely horrible writing, but the movie's great because the actors are great. Am I right or wrong?
No, you're
Absolutely.
right.
So that's
Absolutely.
my point right there. It doesn't matter what skin color. I remember when, go back to Star Wars for a sec, when John Boyega showed up as a stormtrooper, everyone flipped their lid about a black stormtrooper. I'm sure remember that. It's the same argument again. Oh, there's too many this, too many. Who cares? And John Boyega fits that role perfectly.
Forgetting the fact that majority of the people in A New Hope that played stormtroopers were black.
Well, that's beside the point because you never saw them. You never saw the people. I mean, in fact, that's like watching Ellesmere. I was watching Ellesmere 1976. It's actually a really interesting documentary. If you ever get a chance to check it out, it's on Netflix. Which was, the whole thing was about the bit players, the people you really didn't see. They had the interviews with the stormtrooper that bumped his head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
David Prowse, who played Vader.
Mm-hmm.
Peter Mayhew, I don't think was on there. I don't remember seeing him, but a bunch of stormtroopers. Person who played Biggs Darklighter. Yeah, that's, it was all interviews with those people, and it was really interesting. But once again, it doesn't matter. To go back to this, I got one little sidetrack, but yeah, it just doesn't matter. It's not, you need to get over it, okay? Stop worrying about what color skin people have, okay, when they're watching. Enjoy the movie or enjoy the show for what it is, please.
Eric, do you feel that the move that the CBS network and Paramount are trying to push with Star Trek was to do the anti-whitewash argument that's been going around in Hollywood, and maybe this is the repercussion of it?
My feeling is it shouldn't matter what the race of the people are. I mean, for what it is, it's Star Trek, and they want to do something different. It's given us a new taste of Star Trek, whether it's all black actors or it's all white actors. It doesn't matter. I mean, what does race still continue to be involved in the entertainment industry?
While Eric's talking, we just lost Brian Miller, but I believe he'll be right back.
But my point is...
Rose. All right, go ahead, Eric.
My point is, over the years, we had a lot of TV shows with adversity in it. I mean, you can also remember,
Chips?
Well, don't even go there with that one.
No, I'm serious. Chips, the show had a lot of diversity.
Well, it had an Hispanic cop, and it also had a white cop. But you also had black cop in it. You also had, white women in it. It doesn't matter to me. Black females, it doesn't matter. I mean, you had, what was it? The one with Willis. They were a a white guy adopts 2 black kids.
Oh, different
Okay?
strokes.
Yeah, different strokes. Then we had, God.
Barney
Just
Miller.
barely. But there was another show that had, I mean, come on now, The Facts of Life, where,
What's happening?
yes, what's happening? I mean, we had a lot of TV shows in the 70s. Then you also had the interracial couple that was in the one TV show,
The Jeffersons.
Jeffersons. Yeah, I'm saying we've been dealing with adversity in TV shows for like a long time. Everybody's had a problem with it. This show having a white guy adopting kids. I mean, Christ, leave it alone. It's over and done with. We keep on harping on these racial issues. It's never going to go away. It's time to let it go. Let's check it out. Who knows? It might go off as a big hit.
Well, again, you're picking on a show that from its inception, its formation, when Gene Roddenberry created Star Trek, it was meant to break down boundaries. It was meant to show humanity beyond its petty differences. I mean, it brought controversy back in the 60s of having Captain Kirk kiss Lieutenant Uhura. The first ever on-screen black woman, white man kiss. Again, a black woman as as a bridge officer on a ship. That was unheard of before Star Trek, and stuff. So I mean, I'm a Star Wars fan, but I give Trek its due. It has paved a lot of ways for people, especially in the form of diversity. And TV forever, I mean, even satire shows like you mentioned, The Jeffersons. The Jeffersons kind of spun off of All in the Family, which, if you want to talk about a whitewash show, it was purposely designed to have your racist, overly conservative Archie Bunker and then put him in a situation where he has to learn to deal with people of different ethnicities or political views and stuff of that nature. I mean, they made fun of it. Why are we still in the 21st century having these discussions? Why is it such a big deal, especially on a property like Star Trek, which main focus is humanity coming together and seeing beyond race, color, creed, religion, and furthering ourselves through our exploration and our scientific advances as a one people, a one race. It's the dumbest argument on the planet. I'm sorry. People, if you're complaining about black stormtroopers or a black bridge captain on a starship in the 24th century, you need to go outside more. You really need to leave your mom's basement. Take down the Britney Spears poster. Leave your mom's basement. You're 35 years old, okay? Go out and get a day job. We're beyond this. There is no color anymore. The color is red. We all bleed red. We're the human freaking race, okay? Let it go. That's all I got to say on it. It's freaking stupid.
Okay.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna start off with a death that we had before we go into one of the last reports, because of the way we want to end this first segment here. The death is recently, as of today, Roger Moore passing away at 83 years old from cancer. Of course, Roger Moore is most famous for playing I believe it was the second James Bond in movies like You Only Live Twice, or To Live Is to Die, I think it was.
Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
Thunderball, Octopussy.
So he lost a very short battle with cancer at 83 today. Guys, I'll be honest with you. Roger Moore was not one of my more favorite Bond actors. However, Octopussy was probably one of my all-time favorite Bonds.
Yep.
I don't know why. It was probably because I was a young kid and I just loved the name Octopussy. But this is a great loss. He is in the annals of standing on, speaking of franchises, a very long-standing franchise, in the James Bond series. And he was one of the ones that appeared in if I remember correctly, he is the actor who appeared in the most Bond movies of the Bond franchise.
I think his last one was A View to a Kill, if I remember correctly.
That is correct.
So, what do you guys feel, think, memories of Roger Moore?
I'll go first on this one. I grew up watching Roger Moore was James Bond when I was growing up. It wasn't even until later, like on in life, I realized that there was a James Bond before him, which was Sean Connery, which is still to this day my favorite Bond. I mean, Roger Moore is probably my second favorite. He was impressive. He was just. I mean, he was James Bond. I mean, plain and simple, and it's just, it's a shame we've lost him. That's about all I can say.
Brian?
Brian's lost his audio again.
Yep, we lost his audio again. Matt, why don't you go ahead while Brian's getting his audio repaired?
Well, for me, yeah, Octopussy, and I know it was for me, it was the all-female circus. It was awesome to watch those girls do their hijinks and help his ass out. That was for me was my favorite James Bond, and like Christina, yeah, I didn't see Sean Connery until much later in life, and then I liked him even more. I was like, yeah, I like him more. I can't help it. The guy's got charm. But my first experience with James Bond, I remember being like maybe 9 or 10 and going and seeing Octopussy, and I was like, oh my god, he's so smooth. And I was like, oh my god, those girls are hot. And I remember my mom trying to cover my eyes during the open credits, and I was like, fuck. I was like, forget that, man. I was like, there's some boobies going on here. So
All right, Brian, back to you.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
We hear you now.
I don't know why every time we start one of these calls,
and he is frozen up.
He is.
Wow.
Wow. It's not Eric for once.
Brian is the Eric this week.
So why don't we go to Eric then, because we are starting to get short on time.
Yes, Eric, I know you're a huge Bond fan. How did you feel about Roger Moore? How did he rank to you as far as the Bonds are concerned?
Well, I have Sean Connery is first for me, and then I have Roger Moore. I mean, there's so many James Bonds, but like I said, I watched them all, even the early ones, which is crazy. The original James Bond.
Oh crap! Everyone, I have a quick emergency I have to help deal with. My next door neighbor, she just fell. I have to help pick her up. She's not bleeding or hurt. I just got to help pick her up. Please excuse me for a short minute.
Sure,
Go ahead, brother.
Go ahead. Just mute your microphone, please.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, Eric. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No, like I said, I've watched every James Bond, even the original ones, and it's kind of amazing, no matter who plays James Bond, I still get into it. Even with was it Charles Bronson,
Charles Bronson.
Yeah. No, you
Bond?
mean there was a Bronson.
Timothy,
yeah.
I remember Timothy Dalton. I remember Pierce
Timothy Dalton. I think who's he thinking
Pierce
about.
Bronson. But yeah, I mean, I watched all of them. The only one I'm not too happy is Craig.
Oh, Daniel Craig.
Yeah,
Daniel Craig. Not too impressed with him. He just seems too hard.
Well, that was one of my arguments about Daniel Craig as a Bond. I mean, even Roger Moore, even though he was kind of dry in my opinion as far as the Bonds are concerned, I loved Pierce Brosnan. I think he was my second favorite next to Connery. But yeah, Daniel Craig, he didn't have the suaveness of James Bond. He did not have the personality. Part of Bond's appeal was the fact that he was such a smooth talker and a ladies' man. And this guy was an action star. He just it's like putting Jason Statham in a tuxedo. It's really no personality, all action. It was I never liked Daniel Craig as a Bond.
Well, Brian's back, so we got his feedback now.
Maybe. Can you guys hear me first?
Yes.
Hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Here we go. All right. He was second after Sean Connery, correct?
Yes.
Sean Connery is still my favorite Bond of all time. He always will be. I'm very biased towards Sean Connery. Those are the ones that my mom showed me when I was a kid, and those are the ones that stuck with me. But I mean, he's still a good Bond, and he's part of the reason, or he was part of the reason, that the bar is set so high nowadays for who's going to be the next James Bond, who's going to be the next James Bond, and it's just, man, it's like I said on Messenger earlier today, man, it just seems like all these great actors and actresses are just dropping left and right nowadays, and it's just it's heartbreaking, and it really is sad.
All right, real quick. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
I mean, you also don't forget that Roger Moore also was in Spice World, the Spice Girl movie.
Oh, can't we forget that movie?
That's like Metachlorians. You just don't say anything about it. You don't mention it.
You just did.
It's like Beetlejuice. If you say it too many times, they'll make a sequel.
They did make a sequel.
What?
Spice World.
What was it? A straight to DVD? Was it straight to the clear track DVD bin?
Dollar store.
The only one I see that on there is that they only did Spice World. That was it.
I remember hearing about a sequel in it. There was a sequel. It's just I don't know how well it did, if it even was released.
Obviously, it didn't do that well because none of us even know about it. Really quick before we go into the last part of this segment here, I did forget one little thing I have on the notes here. We have written down here 2 TV show brain fart trailers have released. One of a spinoff of The Big Bang Theory for Sheldon Cooper getting his prequel show, story of growing up in East Texas, called Young Sheldon, with an unknown actor kid who personally I think did a pretty decent job. And then, of course, in the spirit of Galaxy Quest, talking about Star Trek, Family Guy creator Seth MacFarlane and his new space adventure TV comedy show, Orville. Guys, have you seen either of these trailers? What do you think? Do you even think these TV shows need to exist?
I watched the trailer for Orville. I haven't watched the trailer for Young Sheldon yet, actually. I need to. But I watched the trailer for the Orville, and I'm not... Like, Family Guy for me it's either on its game or it isn't, and you can usually tell in the first couple minutes of an episode whether it's going to be a good one or not. And lately, for me, it hasn't been on its game. So, like, I loved A Million Ways to Die in the West, especially like the Back to the Future cameo that happened in the middle of that. I laughed my butt off. So, like, when I see him on this trailer, like, I laughed my butt off during this trailer. I did, especially when he's like, "Hey, can you help me open this jar of pickles?" And she like rams into the door and knocks it over, and he's like, "I loosened it for you." You know, like I lost my mind watching this thing. It looks freaking hilarious.
Or the alien talking about how he only urinates once a year.
Yeah,
and
they're
like,
all
I have
male.
to get up 3 or 4 times a night.
That is unfortunate.
I'm going to check it. I might check it out. Depends, because I don't really have network TV access like that where I live, so it's a little difficult, and I don't have cable. So, but if I can check it out, I will, just to see how it is, because it has promise. But yet again, it seems. Yeah. I mean, like, it's not the first Star Trek spin-off, parody there's ever been. I mean, look at Galaxy Quest. Which
Galaxy
I
Quest
love.
is great.
I love Galaxy Quest. It's like one of my all-time favorite parody movies, to be honest.
Yeah,
it ranks up there. It ranks up there with fanboys for me as far as spoofs of the trilogy.
Spaceballs, come on.
Fanboys is number one for me.
Spaceballs is
okay.
Spaceballs, and then that goes probably a close second. Even they had some major hard hitters in Galaxy Quest, so it'd be kind of interesting to see what happens. But it seems kind of like they're biting off the whole Galaxy Quest thing to a point.
Oh, you're talking about Seth MacFarlane's new
the Orville.
Yeah.
Or Orbital.
No, yeah, the Orville, not the Orbital.
What?
Like Orville Redenbacher.
Okay, you're right. However, they are ripping off Galaxy Quest. This is a straight up rip off with a bunch of more probably dick and fart jokes. You know what I mean?
Again, it's Seth MacFarlane. Have you seen Ted?
Yes, I have, actually.
There's only one way this movie could be any more about dick and fart jokes, is if it was written by Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but then it'd be then they'd throw in butt plugs too. Don't forget.
And Jay and Silent Bob would be standing on the back of the bridge trying to sell pot to all the people as they're walking in and out of the bridge.
Hey, baby, you ever had your exhaust port licked by a fat man in a trench coat?
There you go.
Yeah.
Coming soon to a quickie stop near you in a galaxy far, far away.
That right there, Brian, you win the internet today. That was awesome.
Yes.
Eric, which of these two shows you looking forward to?
I want to check out the Young Sheldon. Since I'm a big fan of the Big Bang Theory.
Do you think the Big Bang Theory, since it was renewed for another season, do you think the Big Bang Theory will actually talk about the spinoff of the, or not the spinoff, but the spoof of the Orville, since they are Star Trek, Star Wars nerds?
I don't know. They might or they might not. You know what I mean? It all depends. But I do got to say one thing. Big Bang's got to pick it up a little bit because they're starting to lag a little bit in that comedic routine.
It all went downhill when Sheldon got laid.
Oh, God. That episode had everybody tripping.
All right. Let's get into the stuff that I've been trying to avoid. First and foremost, Joss.
Actually, I think it's time for a break.
Should we do the break and then do the second part?
Christina?
That's fine. We just, yeah, we can do that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, we can take a break because Radiocast we need the break right about now. So.
All right. Well, we'll be right back on Breaking the Fourth Wall on RadiocastFM.com. For YouTube, stick around. All right, guys, welcome back to Breaking the Fourth Wall. We're in segment 2. We wanted to give a moment of silence to Manchester. Hope you guys observed it with us. In segment 1, we didn't get to finish the news because of the break with Radiocast FM, but we'll go ahead now and step into the last part of the news. I was really trying to avoid it because, again, I hate starting the segments on down notes. But we're going to go into the Joss Whedon story, which is unfortunately going to lead into something kind of dark. So I apologize for kind of the downtrodden of this show this week. Joss Whedon has been pulled to not only direct but cast Batgirl for the DC universe. I want to get thoughts real quick on Batgirl, especially the rumor going around that Joss Whedon is looking at Alicia Silverstone to reprise the role of Batgirl. Before we get into the unfortunate darker tones of this story.
I'll feel this one first.
Report.
Alicia Silverstone, no, please do not do this. Do not do this. Do not do this. Do not create sacrilege. She was okay, but we're not going for okay. We want to do a hit. She's not a side character. She's a main character. Alicia Silverstone, sorry, show me something. She played crazy well in Fear. Or was it Fear? You know which movie I'm talking about, right?
Cape Fear?
The one with
No, that was Marky Mark.
The
Yeah.
Mark was Fear, but the one she played that stalker chick.
I don't know. I'm lost.
Oh, I'm trying to remember it now.
I think I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the title of the movie.
We're not talking
But
about Poison Ivy, are we?
no, not Poison Ivy. We're talking about the girl who played Batgirl in the same movie.
Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone. She played,
The Aerosmith videos in the 90s.
and also don't forget, in Clueless, she played Cher.
Yeah.
So, you know, but anyway, shop around. Just shop around. There's plenty of redheads or natural blondes that can play the part very well. Remember, she was a redhead in the comic books. In the movie, in the TV show, she was a brunette who wore a redhead wig. But I say go with the redhead brunette, you know, young 20-ish college student age. Shop around.
Mm-hmm.
Don't settle with someone who's not gonna. If she's gonna go for a redeeming role, not this one, please. Not this one. anything else but this one, please. We just want to have a good start.
Well, I wouldn't say anything else but this one, but
okay, we have our standards, but we're not going to just settle, people. I'm begging, please don't do this to us.
I'm sure he'll get on his knees if at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but please don't do this to us.
He must be the mushroom. Brian, in this world, in the DC world, when it comes to female superheroes and superhero characters, I mean, there's kind of two sides of the spectrum. We have, what possibly is going to be the greatest female superhero performance in Wonder Woman by Gal Gadot. At least from the hype, the movie has yet to come out, but at least from the hype, it's looking like it could be the first decent female character. But let's not forget that we did have Halle Berry's Catwoman.
Oh, that's another one we don't mention. Why?
I like to forget that.
Well, with that scale in mind,
I was willing to forget.
Alicia Silverstone heading the Batgirl role, where would that fall between those two types of genres?
oh my god.
No comment.
Here's the thing with the Alicia Silverstone thing in my book. For like we were talking yesterday, I think yesterday, the day before when we were having our meeting, and you brought that up. The normal general movie-going audience is going to look at that and say, well, is that the same Batgirl from the other Batman movies? What's going on? I mean, we know because we are movie fans. We're in the new, we're keeping our eye on the news and this casting and everything, but God, no, don't do this. Like, for the love of God, please, no. Because she wasn't even the right Batgirl in the old movie, in Batman and Robin.
I know.
She was Alfred's niece and not Commissioner Gordon's daughter. Like, it wasn't even the right... God, really? Jesus, just no. But I mean, with where we're at, like you brought up Wonder Woman. So far, I've heard nothing but great things about Wonder Woman. People who have seen it said it's absolutely phenomenal. With that being said, this whole DCEU is really, really darker compared to like what Marvel is. It's more brutal, really. If I'm looking for a word. If you're bringing Batgirl into this DCEU, is this essentially going to be a live action Killing Joke?
Ooh,
that would be awesome.
Because we've got now we're gonna have Batgirl, and it's just I can't help but wonder if this isn't going to be the live action Killing Joke.
Actually, there's a rumor going around that in the Dawn of Justice, there's supposed to be a red-headed or a red helmeted sniper helping Batman in certain scenes, like when all hell's breaking loose.
Really?
Yes, really.
As soon as we're done recording this, I'm going to go buy the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman because I haven't watched it yet. I need to go get it.
Yeah. No, this will be in the Justice League movie.
Oh, this will be in Justice. Oh, I thought you said Batman v Superman. I'm sorry.
No.
Well,
sorry, I know I said Justice. I know, but
yeah.
Justice League. Sorry.
Yeah.
But there's rumor that there's a scene that you will see a red hooded sniper helping Batman when like all chaos is breaking loose, when you see like Aquaman riding on the Batmobile and all that other stuff. So I will be, if I get a chance to see it in theaters with the widescreen, I'll be probably looking for that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, I know not to get off topic, but I mean, what do you guys think about the whole live action Killing Joke thing? I'm just curious.
It would be really cool.
The only way I would okay it is allow Mark Hamill to physically play the Joker.
Oh, that would be.
But then you're stepping outside of what Jared Leto did though in Suicide Squad.
Screw Jared Leto and his Suicide Squad Joker. That was the disgrace to the character.
You know what? There's just no. Let's be honest. He wasn't like the Joker we knew, that the Joker Harley relationship we knew, where he was abusive to her. He would have never broken her out of prison. You're right. I mean, it was nice seeing him vulnerable. You're right. But let's be honest. Exactly. You missed all the gags. There was no exploding whoopee cushion. No buzzer that shocked you to death.
He wasn't funny. He wasn't psychotic.
He actually
No, he was psychotic. That was
the
about
thing
it.
out that said bang.
He was a gold tooth tattooed freaking Tony Montana from Scarface. That's all he was. That wasn't the Joker.
That was like hopped up on cranking cocaine at the same time.
That wasn't the Joker. That was a crime boss.
Yeah.
And the Joker was a gangster, kind of, but not like a G gangster, you know? He was more like a mobster.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a mobster from The Godfather. He wasn't his origination, but I mean, he wasn't a mobster of the Godfather. He was a mob boss who was insane, who thought everything was funny, who laughed at his own jokes, even though they killed and maimed. He laughed at his own jokes.
Exactly.
Jared Leto barely laughed in the movie. He barely smiled in the movie.
Yep.
He had more crazy face.
He had that tattoo on his hand where he just went.
Yeah, that was his laugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was stupid. Screw Jared Leto. Now in Suicide Squad, I think Suicide Squad gets less praise than it should. Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn was
bullseye.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
No, I liked it, but
was spot on.
Deadshot. I'll tell you, I was against Will Smith playing Deadshot.
So was I.
I was against it because I thought that Will Smith would overshadow everybody else. And surprisingly enough, he actually was a team player and took the back seat to allow to push forward people like Harley Quinn, you know, in the story.
Yep.
So I applaud.
I say that I wasn't surprised at all. I knew he would do a supporting cast well, because remember in the original Bad Boys, he was the overshadowed character, but that was his character, not his personality. You know what I'm saying? And in the second one, you notice that Martin Lawrence's character was a little bit more foreshadowing than his was. He was the playboy, but he was the playboy in the background. You know, he's the best friend who could afford everything. That was about it. You know?
Yeah. I didn't mean to get us off topic. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. But okay. The long and short, the casting of Suicide Squad was absolutely fine, with the exception of Jared Leto. They need to replace him fast. You know what I mean? Or at least, you know, go back to the 1989 Batman and let Batman kill the Joker.
Well, I'm going to say one thing about that. Has anyone actually read the Suicide Squad comic books?
Mm-mm.
I've read some of them, yeah.
Yep.
If you actually realize it actually follows more of that Joker in that comic book anyway, more than anything else, and that's the thing to remember as well. It follows that kind of Joker as what was in that comic. It was a different kind of Joker.
Okay.
So it's a little.
And actually, he was one of the three that the all-knowing chair gave to Batman when Batman asked who the Joker really was, when he said he gave him three identities, and said that the Joker was three people, and the three people same in the one. And one was like the Jack Nicholson character, one was like the Heath Ledger character, and one was like the Jared Leto character. So but we all know the Joker character as the Jack Nicholson character. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that inaccurate, but it was actually, we were just looking more for the Mark Hamill Joker when it came to Joker and Harley Quinn, because that's what we know more psychologically than we do everything else. So it was kind of hard to accept him, and even I was like, it just wasn't the same. It wasn't right. The chemistry was off. He was too hammy.
Mm-hmm.
He was trying to convince you that I was crazy and everyone should fear me. Okay.
Yeah, he had too much of a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one of the two requirements for a live action Killing Joke, is let Mark Hamill actually play the role.
That'd be awesome.
Physically play the role of the Joker, and do not, and I cannot emphasize this enough, spoilers for anybody who has not seen the animated Killing Joke yet. Do not put that stupid ass sex scene.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
No, let's just put it this way. Let's just take that whole animated Killing Joke. Let's just build a fire. Let's just burn that and just go back to the comic and actually take off the graphic novel. And that's it.
Yep.
Do it that way. Do not even look at that goddamn mess of a
hodgepodge sacrilege.
Yeah, it's
have never watched a cartoon. I have never watched a cartoon outside of like Japanese hentai that has made me feel more uncomfortable than that sex scene between Batman and Batgirl.
Oh,
Exactly.
I was never watched Boku no Pico.
No, I didn't.
Good.
The last hentai I ever got exposed to was La Blue Girl, and when I saw
Yeah.
the scene with the vines, that was it.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
anyway, back to Batgirl. I'm sorry,
Yes,
guys.
back to Batgirl. Eric, who would you cast in the role? And do you think they even should do a Batgirl, or should they go back to the original idea of doing the Birds of Prey? Eric.
Eric,
Uh-oh.
you're muted.
No sound.
Huh? Oh,
Hmm?
what's this
Man,
button
I wondered why my computer was doing better now.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
do? I really hope that's a finger again.
Oh man. And all was going so well.
All right, so
You
let's
think
skip
about-
over to Brian while Eric is trying to fix his stuff.
Actually, we can go back to you, Christina, because you never got to comment.
Yeah.
who you would
Yeah.
cast.
Well, I'll answer Eric's question. How about that?
Yeah, go ahead. Do you think they should do Birds of Prey instead of Batgirl, or even more so, who would you put in the role if not Alicia
See,
Silverstone?
before Brian put that theory out, I would have said yes, we should go back to Birds of Prey, but I would like to see a good Killing Joke because I loved Killing Joke. It was just so. It was so dark, but it was so just great. So yeah, they would definitely, if they did that right, then yes. If they did something like that, oh, definitely a Batgirl. Who would I see play that? That's a really, really, really difficult question, actually.
If she could do a decent enough American accent, I would almost say Emma Watson.
I was thinking Emma Watson, actually. You get out of my damn head. Please get out of my head on that one, because I was thinking that, but because she was great in when she played herself and she robbed everybody, and This Is the End. That was freaking classic.
God, that was awesome.
Like, really, you got robbed by a British girl? I mean, that's pretty pathetic.
Oh,
Any way
that's,
you look at
I
it.
know.
Well,
Like-
kind of playing off of Gwenpool, how would you feel if maybe having Emma Stone taking on the role?
Emma Stone.
God, we're
No.
talking about all my celebrity crushes here, guys.
Actually,
Daisy Ridley, Emma Watson, and Emma Stone.
I think Emma Watson would do a really kick-ass job as Batgirl.
Yeah.
Actually, you just brought up one as a side note, Brian, that clicked with me.
Sorry, I didn't
Daisy Ridley as Batgirl.
sign me up.
What about what's her name from Kick-Ass?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Chloe
What the hell's her
Grace Moretz.
name? Yes.
Or
Why
Mortiz or
not?
whatever.
She has the action hero pedigree.
I agree
she-
fully.
She would. I mean, she knows how to. We loved her and as Hit Girl since she's been, drop kicking guys since she was 9 years old. I mean,
Yeah.
we love. I mean, there you go. I mean,
She stole the first Kick-Ass movie, in my opinion.
Oh,
yeah,
definitely.
same here. I mean, she was the mouthy little bitch who just didn't give a damn.
Oh, there's our first one for the night.
Nah,
Nope.
it's just not a curse.
Nope, you're allowed to say that word.
Eric's back. Eric's back. So let him answer. Let him answer.
Yeah, who would you cast as Batgirl if you had to choose?
You know
And
what? I'm gonna reach out left field. I mean, I seen her on a TV show, but I'm gonna say Ariana Grande. I think
That's
she would
very
make a good,
left field.
perfect Batgirl.
that is very, very left field. I don't know.
That is like in the bleachers left field.
That's like I never would have seen that coming at all.
No,
That's not
Right.
that's not baseball, bud.
But
That's
look at
soccer.
it this way.
That's
She was on
not
a TV
even-
show where she was dumb and witty, but now, on a serious note, let's see how she can really act.
Yeah, but do you give somebody like that to test their chops something as big as Batgirl?
And her
Yeah.
I'm sorry, her voice While she may be able to sing and all, but her voice is like kind of like chalky. I don't know.
Well, again, assuming that Batgirl's going to take place in the same realm and world as like the Zack Snyder BVS and stuff of that nature, I'm sure they're going to give her like a voice modulator and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, the Batman style armor. So I'm sure she's going to be like darker and grittier, you know, as a character, and not as light and bubbly as Batgirl has always kind of been portrayed in the comics. That being said, yeah, that one's a weird one. I don't even know how I feel about that. That really was like hitting a home run with a football.
Don't find using a hot dog stick.
Actually, I would go with not the cute and bubbly. If they're gonna go dark and gritty, she was kind of the voice of seriousness with a touch of sarcasm when it came to teaming up with other female heroes. Now, just hear me out. That version of her in The Killing Joke, not so gritty and nasty. No, I'm not talking about like, you know, she's seen too much and has to do something about it. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about she got into it because she got into the idea. And she has seen some stuff, but even though she's seen some stuff, she's the more level-headed and reasoned of them all. Now, the way I'm talking about this is watch Young Justice. Now, I know, Brian, if I ain't peeking your eyebrows yet, you're like, oh, yeah, which episode? The episode when they went against Queen Bee because she has no effect on female heroines, and Robin, and she goes, so this is why you chose an all-female team. She goes, so if it was an all-guys team, would you have this much of a concern? He goes, there's not going to be an easy way to answer this. So Robin out, and it clicks off. Now that's the kind of Batgirl I'd like to see portrayed. Give her a full 2-hour movie for that. I'd follow that storyline, that character.
What about Jamie Alexander?
Remind me who she is.
She played Lady Sif in Thor.
Oh,
she was actually my first choice for Wonder Woman before Gal Gadot.
Nah, she's too older. She's too much older.
You think?
Yeah,
well, that's possible.
If it's taking place in the Zack Snyder BVS universe,
Batman's older too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, actually, you're right. She would be the right age.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
the only thing that would screw that up is if they're taking place in that universe and they decide to give a Batgirl origin story, because she should be seasoned by this point.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Hey, why not a
who else
Batgirl
would probably
origin
make a
story?
good Batgirl as well? I don't know her name, but the main character, Jessica Jones, the girl who plays Jessica Jones.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know her name.
Jesse. No. Richter. Hold on. IMDb this.
But yeah, I think she would do a phenomenal job as Batgirl. I mean, granted, they would have to dye her hair, but hair dyes easy.
Right.
All right. Well, while he's IMDbing, this is gonna lead into where I really didn't want to go, but unfortunately, we've had surprisingly 2 very bad pieces of news that came up this past week. Joss Whedon, obviously, I brought him up first about the Batgirl series because he has also been pulled to take over the helm of the Justice League movies and continuing the Zack Snyder universe. After Zack Snyder has announced that he is leaving the franchise due to family issues. Unfortunately, the family issue was last Thursday.
No, it was a couple months ago.
No, it was 2 months ago.
March.
It just broke out. It just broke out a couple days ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Unfortunately, his daughter committed suicide, and he thought he could work through it, and obviously he couldn't, and he needs to be with his family. So, first and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go out to Zack Snyder and his family. That's as a parent, I could say this on so many levels. I couldn't even imagine the pain he's going through, nor would I want to imagine it. But since we're on that subject, also music has lost, and we've touched base on this at Realm of the Mist. We've touched base on this on Raise the Underground. I know Christina is intending to touch base on this on Eclectica as well. The loss of the great Chris Cornell of Soundgarden, Audio Slave, Temple of the Dog fame, who the night of his final performance, after getting off stage, went to his hotel room and hung himself with a belt at 52 years old. Guys, first off, I know this is a very dark subject. I didn't even really want to report it, but unfortunately, you got to take the good with the bad. How do you feel about Zack Snyder trying to work through it and finally stepping aside and saying, you know what, I need to go be with my family? And also your thoughts on Chris Cornell and just the surprise out of the blue, just came off of a great performance on stage to leading to very tragic news.
As far as the Zack Snyder thing goes, from what I heard, they weren't working for the last couple months. They were working on editing the film, and then he was getting ready to come back to do the reshoots and realized that he couldn't do it. So he sat down with Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers actually offered to push Justice League back and wait on him. And he said, no, just, we've got, you guys got to do this. And they brought Joss Whedon, who's already there anyway, who was helping with part of the film, and it just happened that he was there. It's heartbreaking on so many levels, and the fact that they were able to keep it as private as they did, and he was the fact that he realizes and that everybody realizes that Justice League is just a movie. Human life is what really counts. I mean, this guy's going through some crap, you know what I mean? Like, and he's got to do what he's got to do, and he's making the right call. I really think he is. And it's just, I mean, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And as far as the Chris Cornell thing, it's most of the time when something like that happens, it's always out of left field. You never see it coming. You just don't. And it's sad. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
Christina?
I mean, as far as I'll touch on Zack Snyder first because that was the first thing we brought up. I mean, it's hard. I mean, to lose your child, I can't imagine that pain. I mean, especially when your child took their own life. I had a cousin when I was probably about 14 years old at the time, and I'm not going to get too much into it, but he committed suicide. He lived down in North Carolina, and he hung himself in the family barn. So I've dealt with suicide. I've dealt with suicide on a family level. I've also dealt with suicide on a personal level. And just encompassing the whole thing, I understand that he tried to work through it because sometimes, you try to, whenever something like that happens, you want life to be familiar. You want life to be in that same progress to try to carry on. But I respect the fact that he realized that, hey, I can't do this. I got to be with my family right now. And I understand that perfectly. And my heart goes out to him. And I hope, one day he can get over at like the hurt to a point where maybe he could make another movie. But for now, if he doesn't make another movie, then I'm sure everyone understands. And as far as Chris Cornell, I touched on this on the Realm of the Mist video we put together. Absolute just tragedy. And looking into more of it, his wife made a statement that he was on an anxiety medication and he took one extra pill after the show because his anxiety. If you ever look at Chris Cornell's video footage, like anything from his live shows, you can tell he has really severe anxiety. As an anxiety survivor, anxiety sufferer myself, I've seen it. I know what he's dealing with. I know the signs to look for. And it was taking, I can't remember what the medication, but one of the side effects is, it began with an A.
Adderall.
No, it wasn't Adderall.
Or Ativan.
It was Ativan, I think.
Yeah, Ativan.
But yeah, he was taking that, and he was fine before the show when he was talking to his wife. They were talking about their vacation plans over Memorial Day. That's not something somebody. I've worked on a suicide prevention line, so I kind of had to have learned the signs and everything else over the time. I mean, still have my handbook from it. The book is literally this thick of information. I've read that whole book cover to cover multiple times, just so I could help people and deal with people. And the way he was talking beforehand, it had no signs of was even thinking about suicidal. Then afterwards, when he talked to his wife again on the phone, he was slurring, and he sounded different. And he said, "Yeah, I took an extra pill, and then after this, that's happening." So I don't. At this point, I'm kind of leaning towards what what the family's feeling right now, that it was, kind of caused by the medication he was taking, because they've already stated that this medication, suicidal thoughts, are a side effect of this medication. If that's the case, that just makes it even more of a greater loss than it already is.
Whoever wants to go next. It's a tough
It's all right. I'll go next. We can all, as fans of both the directors, myself, and family first. I mean, the man lost his child. You have to give him time to heal. Yeah, he's gonna have to take care of the rest of his family too. Yeah, we want to see him put out a good product. We want to see another good film that he'll put out, but it's not worth it. Let him take a step down if he has to. They were going to pause production, but he felt that he needed to do it for the fans, so he did kind of do that decision to step down and let Joss Whedon take up, kind of for us, so we would still get the movie on time for when we would want to see it. So you got to give the man a little bit of respect for that. So, and at least he chose Joss Whedon, who, once again, another favorite director of probably everybody here on this panel. Firefly, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh yeah, I was gonna go there, guys. I promise.
I love me some Firefly.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He wrote the first of. I mean, he did well at the box office. Wrote the first. He directed the first Avengers. I mean, we loved some of those great lines. Hulk smashing Loki around by his ankle. I mean, come on, how many memes were created from that?
Oh, like when you talk back to your mom?
Exactly. And by the way, the young actress you were thinking of from Jessica Jones was Kristen Ritter.
Thank you.
I knew it was Ritter. The last name was Ritter, but I wasn't.
I think she would make a pretty awesome Batgirl.
Yeah, I could see it.
Because Batgirl's intelligent. That's why she became Oracle after she was paralyzed.
Exactly.
So I would really, and she can play intelligent, and she can also play like serious business too. But let's get back on this. Let's get through this, please.
Yes,
Eric.
It's a very touchy subject for me. So, I really took it hard when, Chris is the one that alerted me to Chris Cornell dying, and I do have to say I really enjoyed his music and the means behind his music. It was very touching, and a lot of stuff he mentioned his music. I really listened to. I think it was he did an album with Timberland, and it was the album that he got a lot of scrutiny from the music world, because he went more computerized music. He went outside his realm. He tried something new. When it comes to suicide, I can relate to it myself. I actually kind of tried it when I was 16, and I did get help for it. But when you're going through that time of, in your head, you're looking for a quick out. It hurts, just talking about it still after all these years. But anyone to lose, like especially hearing about, we're talking about what's his name again, the
Zack
producer who lost
Snyder.
a child. Yeah. Um, Kids today, I see a lot of it, and you read a lot about it, and especially the kids that get bullied. You know what I mean? And they become secretive instead of going to tell somebody. They just keep it inside and just deal with themselves. You know, and they just can't handle it no more. Like for me, I kind of exploded at school, so that's when they said, you have a choice. We can get you help. So I took it. You know, because when you're suicidal, you're looking for means to do it fast and quick. Um, my way was kind of stupid, but I thought it was gonna work, but it didn't. So I'm still here.
I need a minute, guys.
Well, while you're taking a minute breath, I want to finish this one off here. I'd really like to step outside this dark zone. Um, Guys, the biggest thing, and it's going to sound a little ironic coming from a talk show, which really is what we are, but I think the ultimate prevention of suicide is talking. Most people feel that they need that out because there's nothing for them here. There's no one there for them here. The problem is it is a very selfish act because of the fact that you're not realizing how much damage and pain you're going to leave behind when you leave this world. I've said it last night on Raise the Underground. Again, this is a pre-recorded show. It's a Tuesday to us right now. But I said it last night on Raise the Underground, and I'm sure the panel will join me in this. If you need someone to talk to, we may be internet talking heads to you guys, but we're human beings too. Contact us, realmofthemist@gmail.com. We'll respond. We'll talk with you. Give us a phone number. We'll contact with you. And if you don't want to talk to us because you don't know us or anything else, there are places you can reach out. There are people who can talk to you. Christina spoke to it about the suicide hotline. The 1-800-273-8255 is one of the ones I pulled up. There's numerous ones out there, but that's one I'll give out right now. Get the help, guys. There's life is worth living, and nothing is so bad to end it that way. Talk to somebody before you take that drastic decision. I'm going to give a moment here just to, again, for the people that we've lost, unfortunately, due to this incident. And you know what? I think this might be a perfect time to take a quick break, and we'll come back for segment 3. So stay tuned on radiocastfm.com. Damn you, Brian. Welcome back to Breaking the Fourth Wall. I'm never going to touch my wallet the same way again. Thank you for making it sexual.
Good, your wallet thanks you.
Oh, remember I didn't tell the story either. I have to tell the story.
Yes, why don't you go ahead since
Wait till the end so Matt's not fully broken.
No, we got to do it now so everyone can see Matt broken.
Oh my God! Yes, since we already got him started anyway with the raping wallet thing.
Oh God, this is like a bad version of Sausage Party.
All right.
Well, I just dropped it back to Brian when I said Sausage Party.
So anyway, here's the story for everyone out there listening, because this is great.
I'm laughing so hard I'm sweating.
I would just say an acquaintance of mine went to a concert a little while ago. This was probably a few years ago. And he was smoking some weed, so he was really freaking stoned, like really stoned. And he goes into the, he's telling this whole story with a straight face, mind you. So he goes into the porta-potty to go use the bathroom. He's sitting there doing his business, peeing, or standing up peeing. He looks over, he's like, oh wow, this porta-potty has a sink. And there's even a bar of soap. So he starts washing he picks it up, starts going like this, and he stops. realizes that he's washing his hands with a urinal cake in the urinal.
Oh my god!
And that's the story.
Oh god!
Now, the reason this pertains to Matt is we had a meeting last week.
It was earlier this week.
Well, earlier this week.
Oh yes.
Where Matt, I guess, first heard this story. And you hear the laugh that he's kind of doing now. Imagine that for a straight 40 minutes. To the point that his family was grabbing the microphone off his head to ask what we said that broke him.
And he's still broken. Look at him. He's trying. He'll never look at a urinal cake the same way again, ladies and gentlemen.
I imagine him just falling on the floor laughing every time he walks into a public men's room.
At least if he pees himself laughing, he's in the right place.
So they have urinal cakes at work?
Oh.
Oh.
I believe no, they actually have those little filter things, but it has a urinal cake in it.
It's so people can't wash their hands with it.
Oh, I guess not. Oh god, the fact that someone had to do that because somebody was taking them out. Oh brother. Anyway,
it's creepy enough to know that there was a urinal cake in a porta potty. I've seen the porta potties that have like the stand up urinals, but it's literally like a bowl with a hole. You know?
I know.
The point that I would almost think the urinal cake would block the hole. To be completely honest with you.
I know.
Where the hell's the faucet? I mean, seriously.
And we were all broken on breaking the fourth wall.
We're broke so much Brian froze. Look at the picture. It's almost really contemplating where the faucet is.
Oh my god. I can't breathe.
Oh my god. Oh, while Brian, while Brian's rebooting again and trying to come back in. Ladies and gentlemen, break it.
Look at that! Look at that!
Breaking the Fourth Wall has now got a website officially up, realmofthemist.entertainment.com. Go check it out. Talk to us on chat. We'll start posting up some of the audio podcasts and other contents as well. It's still under construction, but it is officially launched. So come check us out. Maybe we'll put up a picture of a porta potty urinal with a faucet. Just because.
Hey, look, guys, Paul Giamatti.
Oh, you suck.
Oh my
Seriously,
God.
look at a picture of Matt. Look at Matt on this podcast when he has glasses off, and then take a picture of Paul Giamatti and put them next to each other. We know who can play his life story.
Oh my God, that was beautiful. Poor Brian, he needs to get back in here.
Oh god, man, that messed me up.
Leave it to Brian to be the rational one. We're all just laughing about some stone.
No, he's just trying to figure out where's the faucet.
And he literally was sitting there thinking about it, like, wait a minute, where was the faucet for the shed?
The fact that I was thinking it, like when we started this whole thing, I was like, I thought it yesterday when I heard it for the first time. I was like, where the hell's the faucet? But then I started laughing because it was so ridiculous and absurd. Then my daughter and her boyfriend, he's over here hanging out for a minute, and we're talking. They said something exactly the same time you did, so it sounded like a triple echo. So that sounded funny. So I started laughing at that. Then my wife, in all her wonderful glory, goes, "I don't get it." And I was off and running. I was in tears and on the bed, and they were like, "We need to record this. This is great. He might lose oxygen, but it'll be the greatest snuff film of all time." He laughed himself to death on air.
Oh man!
While on air.
I was begging Christina to press record. I really was. Like I wouldn't even have produced it or anything. I wouldn't have thrown Realm of the Mist or anything. I just would have thrown it on the website and let people find it.
It's like an Easter egg, people.
Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
It really was.
All right, let's get.
All right,
we're
so
running
I think
low
we might
on
have
time.
lost Brian for this last segment, unfortunately. So
He's having Skype issues. So, guys, real quick, our random week. With the introduction of Tom Hardy being introduced as Venom for the next movie coming out for the character of Venom, it got us thinking about when are they going to ever introduce the character of Carnage. Now, if they ever did a standalone Carnage movie, here's the debatable question in our rant of the week. Would you prefer that Sony, who still owns the Spider-Man universe franchise, do a hard R Carnage movie, or would you rather see it back in the hands of Marvel, even if that means that Marvel would give it a rating of a PG-13?
go ahead, Matt.
Thank you, please. I'm sorry. We've already seen what a R can do. They did wonderful with Deadpool. It was amazing. It was to the point. It made sense. It was a wonderful job. It was well done. It was well scripted. The action was there. The gunplay was there. The smart ass wisecracks were there. Carnage. What do we know? He is his name. He is Carnage in Carnage. He was a sociopath locked up near Eddie Brock when the symbiote gave birth to its offspring and went right into him. He was insane. It went insane. He's a serial killer. He's a superpowered serial killer. You can't give him a PG-13 rating. That's the dumbest thing in the world. You've got to be out of your freaking mind if you think that's going to even fly. What are you going to do? Dumb it down for audiences? You're going to alienate so many fans. Why? Just because you want to get it under the motion picture authority's freaking thumb? Give me a freaking break. Give it a hard R. That's what it deserves. That's what we deserve. We're fans. We've been reading these comic books. We know what was going on. We were there. We were basement dwellers. We had our part in this world. I say hard R. That's the only way to go. Your PG-13, you're going to sell it short. You're going to crap out a good contender for a franchise to expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe alone in the R rating department. You need that background. Yes, you can have the family-friendly movies, but you need that hard R. Like Netflix, you got Daredevil, you got Jessica Jones, you got Iron Fist, you got Luke Cage. It's a very gritty atmosphere. You need that edge. You need to visit every dynamic. You can't just sit here and be a freaking wuss and do family-friendly movies all day long. That's just bullcrap.
I can point out right now that Iron Fist is tanking as far as reviews are concerned.
Give it a chance. You got to give it a view through. You know what I'm saying? It has its ups and downs in the series. I will give it that. They're right.
Well, I don't think necessarily the argument is so much about the rating R versus PG-13. I think it's more along the lines of, can we, even with a hard R, can we trust Sony to do the job right? How many times have they screwed up Spider-Man? Where we know Marvel has been successful in their studio productions, and they have very rarely slipped up in what they've put out in the cinematic universe.
If Marvel's willing to do an R, this is what they need to do. Keep it to its story. Keep it with the bladed weapons. There's going to be blood galore. But do what they did like they did in the first Michael Myers. Give it a darker tone and atmosphere. You can kind of fudge out the blood with the darkness. Give it the feel of what they don't see. Give them what they hear. That'll definitely give it the sticking point.
You know what? I just had a thought. On the last segment, we were talking about Suicide Girl. We talked about Jared Leto's Joker and how we didn't like him. I would almost think that the way he played the Joker in Suicide Girl would almost be perfect for Carnage.
You mean Suicide Squad?
Or yeah, in Suicide Squad, the Jared Leto, the way he played the Joker in Suicide Squad would almost be perfect for Carnage.
I was about to say, Suicide Girl is that softcore porn they like to put out once in a while.
Hey, obviously, I want this show to end because I need to go back to that site. No, go.
Apparently so.
Well, you are married after all.
Once you say I do, you don't no more.
I know, right? Anyway, I love
but
you.
no,
honey.
what do you think of that?
Man, I love you,
do you
honey.
think- What do you think? What do you think
See,
of Jared
look,
Leto?
this is my
in a role?
domain. There is nothing. I have nobody.
Yeah. I say actually Jared Leto with his insanity, because that's what Cassidy was. Cassidy was out of his mind. He had to be locked. They had to have him in full freaking straitjacket, Hannibal Lecter style with him. When he
Right.
got Carnage, it was the worst move in the galaxy. But
I thought that was the Catwoman movie.
oh, we don't discuss that.
Christina, do you think it'd be safer in the hands of Marvel, even if it wound up getting dumbed down to a PG-13, or do you think Sony would be still the better choice because they're more willing to risk a hard R?
Well, I mean, Marvel's pulled a hard R with Deadpool. It's not out of the realm, and I believe Logan was also R-rated as well.
But both of those were Fox. They were hard R's, but they were Fox Studios.
True. But I think it needs to be a hard R. Like Matt said, it does need to be a hard R. Carnage is not something you can muffle down. It's kind of like if you edited Deadpool, it would just be horrible, and you don't want that. You want something that's going to stay true to the real storyline. So I really do feel you need to keep a hard R with that, and you need to push a hard R however they have to do it.
All right. Eric, I'll pose this question to you. Is PG-13 really that bad? I mean, look at Rogue One. Look at, trying to think of some other ones off the top of my head. Captain America Civil War. They were gritty and brutal in their own rights, and they had to go R. Do you think that maybe we're going a little too much into saying that a PG-13 rating would destroy a character like Carnage?
We got no
no.
audio again.
We got no audio.
No.
Tonight is officially, I'm calling this title Attack of the Gremlins.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
I think so. The Gremlins kept jumping back for seeing Eric and Brian's computer.
I mind this. I mind when we first started.
Yeah,
That's true.
Because
We
I
first
couldn't
started.
get anything to work when I first booted up today. I couldn't get the recorder to work, couldn't get my Skype to work, nothing.
Well, I do apologize to our listeners and our viewers. We have been dealing with some Skype issues tonight. Apparently, so far, I'm the only one that hasn't had an issue.
I've been all right.
What is that?
That was me knocking on my table, knock
Well, we
wood.
always expect Eric to have issues, so.
True. But so I do apologize for this week.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
And Brian's back.
Yes.
Yay!
But can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Oh, here we
Oh
go.
my God, no way!
I
don't- I don't
Eric,
know
go
what
ahead.
is going on with this damn computer tonight, guys. I am so sorry.
Gremlins.
That's all right.
All right.
That's a
Eric,
Kentucky
go ahead.
monster.
My feeling is with Carnage, if they're gonna make it, I want it to be R. I mean, to me, PG-13 is like for kids under 13, which just has bad words in it. You know what I mean? Like a rated R. You know, I like the graphic natures of rated R. I mean, if I want to see a movie, I want it action. I want it gritty. You know, shoot. I mean, how many movies have we ever seen that doesn't? You know, I like to see if they can, but I doubt Marvel would ever touch the subject. Show them breast in some of these comic book movies. I mean, I just,
See,
in
we
reality,
don't have a problem with it.
I mean, that's, you know, make it R. But, you know, what they're also going to try to do is appeal to the kids, too, you know, for PG-13, you know? I mean, Christ, make it PG-13, but then when you put it on Blu-ray, put all the other stuff in it that he took out.
I don't like that marketing ploy.
I hate that especially when they pull the crap like they did in Avatar, where they released the theatrical and then like 2 months later goes, oh, by the way, here's director's cut. So go buy yourself another movie, why don't you? Which is what I end up doing. And I gave and after I watched the director's cut, I literally took the theatrical version. I was like, here, you can have this because this movie makes much more sense now.
I know, right?
The one that's most famous for that is Blade Runner, because they released how many different editions, and only the final one was finally a decent movie.
Yeah, I think the one I have is the final. I think I have the director's cut. I'm just looking where it's at.
Yeah.
All right, Brian, to stay on topic here. Which, by the way, watch this video when we play it back on YouTube, because right when you froze, you had this ponderous look on your face.
Oh, no.
Right after responding to where was the faucet on the urinal, and the look on your face before you finally jumped out in the frozen position was literally the thinker moment. You were literally you were really pondering.
Just like that, yeah.
Oh my God!
It could have been more perfect. Almost like Eric's weird Gatian blur he's got going on right now.
All right, Brian,
your
feel, would you be more comfortable knowing how Sony has dropped the ball on the Spider-Man franchise on numerous occasions? Mm-hmm. Would you be more comfortable with a Carnage movie being in the hands of Sony, who would be more willing to do a rated R movie with it, or would you rather it in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, although they would most likely at most give it a PG-13 rating?
Man, God, Carnage is one of those characters you have to do R. You absolutely have to. It's like what they did with Deadpool. You couldn't have done a PG-13 Deadpool. There's no. I mean, with Deadpool though, you could have probably gotten away with it. That every time he swore, he got the black bar in front of his mouth and the beep, and then he could get even more pissed off for the black bar popping up over and over and over and over again. I mean, you could have made it PG-13 and made that work. But for Carnage, man, that's one that you can't do a kid's version of Carnage. You just can't do it. Especially
character.
It's not, and it's if Marvel did it, that would be in the MCU then, and you're looking at a character that it's just, I mean, you would have to, it would have to be rated R, but the only, I wouldn't mind having, because if Sony does a Carnage film and it's rated R, they've already said the Venom movie is going to be outside of the MCU, and the Carnage movie would be outside the MCU. You could do a rated R Carnage movie that was set in the same universe as the MCU, just not ever bring it into the MCU. You know what I mean? Into the Marvel films, just keep it as its own separate thing, mainly for adults. Kind of like what they did with Deadpool and the X-Men. I mean, they're going to be bringing Deadpool into X-Force, from what I've heard. So I mean, and with PG-13, you get one F-bomb. And I still want to see, Wolverine use it, and then see Deadpool get all pissed off that he didn't get to use it. but
yeah,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
To go down like that,
save it for the end of the movie.
You really suck right now. I've been waiting for the perfect time to use it, and you just wasted it on me.
Like the whole movie, Deadpool's he turns to the camera, he's like, "Okay, kids, we got one of them. Let's save it for a good occasion." And everybody's like, "Who the hell are you talking to?" or something like that, And he's just like, "Don't worry about it." And then at the end of the movie, you see Deadpool's like, "Oh, kiddies, here it is." And then Wolverine's like, "Who the are you talking to?" He's like, "No!" And lose his mind. I would laugh my ass off, but
perfect.
Print that. Fox Studios, if you're watching and listening to this, which I know you're not, but if you are, there it is.
As far as to get back on topic, as far as Carnage goes, I would want to see a rated R Carnage, whether it's set in the MCU or not. I'm not sure Carnage is a character that would really fit within the MCU that they've got established at this point. So I wouldn't mind seeing it either if it isn't or isn't in the universe, but have Sony do it rated R. But you brought up Sony's missteps. There's been several. Spider-Man 3 was just God no.
Can we not even bring up 2015 Fantastic Four?
That was Fox.
Oh, yeah. Fan 4 stick.
Yeah, that was Fox.
Fan 4 stick.
But and then you had The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which was not good either. But I mean, really, for 5 Spider-Man films so far, they're hitting 3 out of 5. So they're not doing horribly in my own opinion, but I would want to see them take a crack at Carnage, whether it's good or not. If it sucks, I don't have to watch it. If it is, awesome. We get a great Carnage movie.
with as beloved as Carnage, though, that's the thing that I'm worried about. As beloved as a character as Carnage is, he's kind of like the Marvel universe equivalent to Darth Vader or Freddy Krueger.
Yeah.
Like he's such a villain that people love
Right.
that
Freddy Krueger.
if they screwed him up, I don't know if that's recoverable. That's like if Deadpool bombed.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, well, like look at Fox for a second. The first X-Men movie was awesome. In my opinion, the second one was even better. And then The Last Stand came along, and it was horrible. And then X-Men Origins Wolverine, horrible. This is just my opinion. X-Men Origins, horrible. And then they came back with First Class, and then what was next? Days of Future Past? Or no, then the Wolverine, and then Days of Future Past, and then Apocalypse, and then Deadpool, now Logan. Logan was my favorite X-Men movie ever. I mean, that movie was insane, and Fox has really made a comeback just because they got the right people in place. If Sony could do the same thing and just get the right people to do it, a Carnage movie could be something special.
well, that X-Men franchise you just pointed out has been hit and miss.
Mm-hmm.
You had great with X-Men. You had great with X-Men 2. Then they dropped the ball with Last Stand.
Yeah.
Then they dropped the ball with Wolverine, although I kind of liked Wolverine, or not Wolverine, but X-Men Origins Wolverine, with the exception of the Deadpool situation.
Right. Well, the Deadpool in that movie was great until they sewed his mouth shut.
Right.
At the
No
beginning, that
kidding.
was dead on Deadpool.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you go into First Class, which I thought was it didn't wow me, but it was decent.
Right.
The Wolverine was mediocre at best. But then you got Days of Future Past. That was a phenomenal movie for a reboot. Which really, let's call the second half of the X-Men movies a reboot.
Yeah.
And then you finally got X-Men Apocalypse. Again, they dropped the ball. They absolutely needed Logan to hit.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
did. It hit hard. It was good.
Yeah, but you know what one of my biggest issues is with the X-Men universe right now? As well, I'll say that it's like, how come every single movie has to center around Wolverine? Like, you ever notice that it's the Wolverine, X-Men Origins Wolverine, the Wolverine, Logan. It's all why?
Yeah, it was just because of Hugh Jackman. Really, I mean, he embodied that character. I mean, to the point where that was
but
that was just
still
the
other
one.
characters you can still.
There are. Well, see, Bryan Singer is stepping back into the reins now, and essentially he did Days of Future Past to reset everything that other directors messed up along the way that he started with the first two X-Men. And now that he's back behind the wheel of it, I think we're going to get something that's because now they're doing the New Mutants TV show, and we're getting a Dark Phoenix movie, and I think he's going to start getting it back to the point where Wolverine's not the focus, but it's more just the X-Men in general.
Well, even in the X-Men reboots, First Class and all the way up, even in Apocalypse, the only one that had Wolverine forefront was Days of Future Past, and that was because he broke the story of the time travel. But in the other two, he was an afterthought.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to see Weapon X Born in the middle of Apocalypse, but you also got to see the only cameo appearance you got from Wolverine in First Class was him at the bar telling Xavier and Magneto to go F themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
The one F-bomb that Deadpool would be, pissed off. But again, I mean, what did we just talk? Bryan Singer.
Yeah.
Bryan Singer's known to make some stinkers in the comic book universe as well. Let's remember Superman
Returns. Yep.
Yep.
So I mean. But Fox has been, for a while, they were supposed to spin off other characters. Gambit was supposed to be in the works with Channing Tatum forever.
That never happened.
They were going to do a Storm standalone with Halle Berry. I don't know what really happened with that. But to answer your question, not just because it was Hugh Jackman playing the Wolverine, although he was the perfect cast.
Oh, absolutely.
It was also the fact that in the franchise, and, Matt, you're our comic book guy. You can argue me if I'm wrong. Wolverine was one of the most beloved X-Men characters.
Actually, he was. It was funny too because he is a second generation of X-Men. He came in. Stanley won. See, when he created Logan, he wanted something different. That's why he made him the way he was. And he stood out with his character being such a mystery for so many years. People didn't know exactly who he was or what he was about. They just knew he was really, really old and had seen a lot of stuff. I can't say what I really want to say because we're only allowed with so much.
We're not PG-13. We don't get one.
I know. But Wolverine was the personification of what war can do to a person, what experience and time, what damn near immortality can do to somebody, to see the loss of so much and gain as well. That was Logan's character. He was such a central focus, Christina, because of his individuality and what time space he could do. But there are some great other stories, as you mentioned before. You have the Dark Phoenix, the Phoenix Rising, the Phoenix Rebirth. You have also, excuse me, you have the Infinity Crusade. There's other stories and there's other characters that were main focus. I mean, we could do a Nightcrawler origin story too, with everyone loving what's her name as excuse me, I got my throat's a little dry.
Mystique.
Mystique as his mother. What's her name?
Rebecca Romaine Stamos or the Jennifer Lawrence?
Jennifer Lawrence. They loved her character as.
Who loved her character, man? She was mailing that in.
Yeah.
That was horrible acting. She was the worst of the reboots.
Actually, but still, they could include her or Rebecca Romaine because she is still old enough to play the part.
I would go with Rebecca Romaine. She made Mystique her own. Jennifer Lawrence, people are loving her because she's a trend and a fad. Yeah. That was a mail-in performance in every except maybe First Class. But really, Days of Future Past and especially Apocalypse, she was
Apocalypse
phoning that in.
She barely looked like she cared.
Yeah.
No, I'll give you that. No, I meant First Class.
Hey, Chris, we're running out of time, by the way.
Oh, sure.
All right, well, let's get into our movies of the week and tell everybody where they can find us, and we'll continue this next week. Movie of the week, very, very simply, box office stinkers, critically hated movies that, for whatever reason, is a secret love of yours. A movie that no matter you say you love watching this movie, and everybody else goes, "Ugh, why?" Ryan, let's start with you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go with one. It was Zombies of Mass Destruction. This was a horrible shot at a horror movie, and it was. I love watching it just because there's a character named Brian Miller in it. I can't help it. So the movie honestly didn't take itself seriously. I don't think it was meant to be anything really serious, but I absolutely love that movie. Guys, go check it out. It is absolutely hilarious. You will laugh your butt off watching that movie.
Matt Cruz.
I had one, and I thought I had to rethink this one because I was starting to repeat myself, unfortunately. But I gotta say, Surf Ninjas. I know it's like the most horrible movie from the 90s. I know it's horrible, but I found it. I laughed. I laughed a lot. It was a happy childhood memory. I even played the video game. I'll admit to that. I didn't care. I was like, you know what? It's a video game. It's got a movie. I'll check it out.
They really had a video game? Really?
Yes, they did, and it was just like in the movie. I swear to God, it was that. It was worth the $30 I spent for it. I'm serious.
Oh my God, you spent $30 on a shit video game?
Yeah, I did.
And there's one. We got one. Finally,
I got him.
Now we're PG-13. Christina, your movie of the week.
Wing Commander.
What is it?
Wing Commander.
Wing Commander, Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, I love that movie. Like, it's got such horrible reviews. I don't think it's even got 1 star. Like, it's that. I think it's got the pity star, and that's about it. But I actually enjoy the movie. Like, I think Matthew Lillard played a great Maniac. Like, he played Maniac to a T. I mean, I really enjoyed the movie as like a huge Wing Commander.
What is that noise?
I have no idea.
I think it's Eric.
It was Eric.
moving around.
It is Bebop.
Yeah, it's
It is
Eric, 'cause his
Bebop.
bar's popping up every single time I hear it.
Okay.
But anyway, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the Wing Commander games. I've been playing them since the first Wing Commander came out. I still have them, actually.
That's right now, because I love that movie.
Yeah, I do love that movie, and it's a pretty good movie. I would like to see more of the Kilrathi in it, but other than that, it's a great movie.
Eric, your choice of the week.
Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan.
Oh my god. Eric wins.
Wow.
Yay!
What do you win?
As long as you
Nothing.
say Mr. Nanny.
That's horrible.
Wow. With the
All right,
straight apart
explain
laser
why
tag
that's your
gun.
movie. Explain why that one's your pick.
It just is one strange movie. I'm like, come on now, Hulk Hogan, he was a wrestler and becoming a babysitter? Are you kidding me? From an intergalactic world? It was just crazy. I mean, I just thought it was funny. I mean, of course, you know, we had a cameo in it too, was The Undertaker, who also starred in it.
Oh, Jesus.
How are you going to top
You
that
know what,
one,
Hank?
Chris?
You know what, Eric? I'm going to thank you because you made mine not feel so bad.
No, actually, that is really bad still.
Oh.
I've got that book somewhere, and it's like that thick.
That's what I was going to say. The reason I choose Battlefield Earth is, first off, the performance of John Travolta. I mean, he hammed that up so much as Terrell that even reading the book, which was a phenomenal book, I can't help but not hear his voice giving that over-the-top performance every time I read a passage of Terrell's dialogue. You know, I mean, everybody was kind of doing it, but he really amped it up, and it was just a phenomenal over-the-top performance. And of course, Tig from Sons of Anarchy, you know, with piece of cake. Yeah, I often wonder when I watch Sons of Anarchy and I see Tig in the show. I often wonder if, like, the rest, he tries to hide from the rest of the crew that he did Battlefield Earth. It's a god awful movie, but I'm entertained by it. You know, and I think part of the reason I'm entertained by it is because of how much I love the book. Brian, where can they find you?
You guys can find me on War of the Stars right here on Realms. I can't even talk right now. On Realm of the Mist. You can also find me at the Star Wars Canon Library. It's a YouTube channel. I started keeping all the Star Wars canon stuff in chronological order. Also, make sure to check out the website www.starwarscanonlibrary.com.
Matt Cruz.
You can find me on Matthew Cruz with 2 T's on Facebook, or you can find me on Fox C77@gmail.com. You can email me, say what's up, what's going on, how much you like the show, what I did, what you didn't like, or what I could have said a little bit better. Trust me, I can take the criticism. I need it.
Christina.
You can find me every Wednesday night on Eclectica on radiocastfm.com. You can also find me right here on Breaking the Fourth Wall and Realm of the Mist Entertainment, as well as on Facebook, Christina Talley, Tali Warburton. And remember, guys, remember to like, subscribe, and comment.
Eric.
You can find me at Eric J. Batista Sr. on Facebook. My email address is batista1435@yahoo.com, and also Smoke1437 on the Xbox One.
And, of course, you can find me right here on Breaking the Fourth Wall. Every Monday night, you can find me on Raise the Underground on Radiocast FM. And, as always, you can contact me or any of my podcast brothers and sisters at the brand new website, Realm of the Mist Entertainment, or realmofthemist.com. I'm sure we're all going to put up our individual emails at some point. But you can also check out, from that website, you can also check out all our other great shows, like War of the Stars, Star Wars Canon Library. We are going to be launching Gaming XP very, very soon, which is Matt's thing. Also, Christina is working on her own personal podcast that we'll be releasing on. And, of course, Mario Hernandez, Sith Lord 310, just put up his first movie review. He is now our centerpiece movie reviewer. He just put up one on Realm of the Mist's YouTube channel for the movie Alien. So make sure you go check that out. And like Christina said, like and subscribe. Leave us a comment. We do read your comments. We will respond to them. We like the criticism. We try to improve the show based on what you guys want to see. So let us know what you guys think. Ladies and gentlemen of RadioCast FM and of YouTube and my panel here, thank you very much. We'll catch you next week. This is Breaking the Fourth Wall, and we're out.
Have a good one.